Lots and lots of polls, but they tend to be the ones that you can respond to in a fairly unscientific way, as often as you can possibly manage from as many devices as you can work. But that CNN poll is a pretty big sample, and it is scientific, and they turned it around pretty fast. It does have Hillary Clinton ahead, in fact, well ahead of Trump, but the consensus was Trump's performance improved from the first debate, and the margin between them in that CNN poll was down. Our US correspondent Simon Marks has been watching the debate in St. Louis, an unenviable task because it would have been fairly unpleasant there, particularly in the first 30 minutes as the accusations of misogyny from both sides were being addressed. We're just trying to get through to Simon now. He is there and he is on standby to us, but there is so many lines coming and going from St. Louis. In fact, I think we are switching Simon into the studio. Now, Simon, are you there? Simon, it's John. Are you there? Simon, we can see you. Can you hear me?
Hello, John.
Can you hear me, Simon?
Yes, I can. Loud and clear, mate.
Oh, God, I'm delighted to have your company. It's funny, I often look at your job and envy it. I wasn't so sure about it tonight. Boy, those first 30 minutes were bitter and unpleasant and dark. What was it like to be there?
Well, I mean, it's been an absolutely extraordinary day. I mean, not just the debate, but the immediate lead up to it with Donald Trump an hour before the debate hosting that Facebook Live session in which he featured 4 women who claimed that they had been abused and, in the case of one of them, raped by Bill Clinton, making it very clear that he was going to play the Bill Clinton card during this debate. Look, you know, there's a temptation to analyse this as just another presidential debate, but it was not just another presidential debate. We have never seen 2 candidates so clearly disdainful of one another. Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump not shaking hands at the beginning of the debate, walking very carefully around one another at the end of the debate to avoid each other, their families avoiding each other, at least in on-camera moments, and Donald Trump going to a place rhetorically that he basically concluded he had to go to, given the events of the last 72 hours that were threatening to torpedo his presidential bid. He felt that he had no choice but to bring up Bill Clinton's infidelities and Hillary Clinton's response to them, particularly the way in which some of these women, who went on, by the way, to sit in that debate hall during the encounter, they claim that Hillary Clinton tried to derail their complaints about Bill Clinton, and Donald Trump tried to use that to suggest that Hillary Clinton was being hypocritical in suggesting that she has been a champion of women's rights.
Simon, these 2 factions, as you so brilliantly described, are so polarised now. The acrimony, the enmity is so profound and so great that no one is going to change camps, surely, are they? It's the undecided voters who are going to determine this, if there are any left after the events of the past week. How will they have viewed the debate tonight, do you think?
I think it's very hard to imagine that undecided voters could really make much of a decision based on this particular debate. I mean, Donald Trump opened up a whole series of questions about some pretty major areas of policy, particularly when the debate turned to the discussion of Syria. He, pressed by moderator Martha Raddatz of ABC, completely threw his running mate Mike Pence under the bus. He disavowed the suggestion that Mike Pence had made in the vice presidential debate a few days ago that the United States ought to be considering attacking Syrian government positions. And indeed, Donald Trump went so far as to express some degree of admiration for Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, whom he erroneously claimed is targeting ISIS. Now, if you're an undecided voter, you're now completely confused about where this Republican Party stands on an issue of pretty major national security interest here, the war war in Syria and in a variety of other areas. Very difficult to see that Donald Trump brought anyone home. Did Hillary Clinton bring undecided voters home? Well, she may have had more of an opportunity to do that simply because she was able, for most of the debate, not to rise to Donald Trump's bait. But it's very hard to see how this debate changes many minds.
You talk about people being confused about where the Republican Party stands. That includes the Republican Party itself. So what is the relationship between Trump and Mike Pence?
Oh, absolutely.
And the exodus of senior Republican Party figures over the past 48, 72 hours? Will they have been appeased by any of this?
Well, Mike Pence has been lying low ever since the release of that videotape. Internally, his campaign was said to be apoplectic about that videotape featuring Donald Trump boasting of having groped women. And he basically, I think, was waiting to see how things went for Donald Trump here tonight. At the end of the debate, he put out a tweet saying that he thought Donald Trump had done well and that he was standing by him. Although whether that is a position that Mike Pence maintains, I think we'll have to keep an eye on depending on what next piece of video leaks, and there is more video undoubtedly out there. As to whether Donald Trump has headed off the defections, well, he may over the short term have headed off further defections because his performance was relatively assured during the course of this debate. But make no mistake, John, there is no love lost whatsoever between Trump officials and the Republican National Committee. The Republican National Committee ordered workers here that were building a digital media set for the RNC to down tools in the early hours of this morning. They have terminated or at least suspended Project Victory, the Republican National Committee funded project that was designed to support Trump's presidential campaign. The RNC is rapidly concluding that he cannot win the keys to the White House. They need to keep their powder dry and put their money into the House and Senate debates. And tonight, Trump's former campaign manager, Corey Lewandowski, was lambasting the head of the Republican National Committee, Reince Priebus, accusing him of failed leadership and excoriating him for not having gone into the spin room and told reporters here how well Trump had done in the debate. So enormous tension between Donald Trump and the party that he's officially still representing in November's election.
Simon Marks, live from St Louis, where excoriating, it seems, has been the order of the day.